This conference will now be recorded.
Pants and slippers. So, but we're fully dressed here, so we're all good. So, but I want to welcome you all here. We have several VIPs in the room, so I'm not going to recognize each one, but you know who you are, which is everybody's very important here. So I appreciate you guys being here. I do want to recognize our board members, our chamber board members. I see we have raise your hand, a couple right over here. So thank you to board members that work really hard to support the chamber. At this time, I want to ask our lovely Betty Shin to come give our invocation.
Would you please stand? Our Heavenly Father, let us be thankful today for this beautiful day and this beautiful hotel. Let us pray today for our elected officials, both local, state, and national. Help them make the best decisions for our America. Father, lead us successfully through this horrible pandemic. Guide our school, our teachers, our staff, and our students through this year. And most of all, restore us as a nation for a peaceful time. Bless this food that we've partaken of, the hands that have prepared it, and each of us to your service. We pray these things in Jesus' name. We love you and worship you as we do. Amen.
And now the president and CEO, Mr. Wayne Mitchell, is going to come up and make an announcement. Sorry about that. I had to hesitate.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is great to have folks sitting in seats in front of us again. It's been a long time, almost 6 months, but it's great to have all you folks with us. We do have some events coming up here very shortly. We will have the Chairman's Circle will be meeting on October 7th. We'll have exit issues, another exit issues, a couple of weeks from today. Thursday, October 8th, which will feature our brand new city manager, Gabriel, and we're looking forward to hearing his presentation. We'll have the SFA Chamber Connection, which will be 8:30 on October 13th. Leadership NAC continues to meet. As a matter of fact, they are meeting today. It's where a good portion of our audience is today. And then we'll have the 23rd Annual Blueberry Golf Bash, which will be on October 16th. I want to assure all of you folks that as we are today, we're encouraging everybody to practice socially more appropriate social distancing, staying 6 feet apart and wearing your masks when we're in close quarters with one another. We want to do everything we can not to be a contributor. We'd also like to take a few moments and welcome some of our new members to the Chamber. The new Sunshine South group, H&M Bookkeeping, Security and Guarantee Title Company, Tidal Wave Auto Spa, Nacogdoches, which we tested at ribbon cutting a week or so ago, and J&A Productions as well. And I'd like to take a moment, and I don't get often, but this is going to be the last time that I'll get an opportunity to acknowledge our chamber leadership. And today is the last official event that our chair, Claire Robbins, will officiate at. And let me tell you something, she has had an unbelievable year, and in my opinion, she was the absolute right person at the right time to lead this chamber through some very, challenging times. And I'd like to take a moment and ask you all to acknowledge our outgoing chair, Claire Robbins, and the job she did this year. She's been thrilled to work with, and the good news is she's going to continue to stay involved in the chamber, and we'll have her for many years, hopefully in the future as well, involved in some capacity. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker this morning, Dr. Gabriel A. Trujillo. He was named the Nacogdoches Superintendent on March 26th, following a unanimous vote of the Board of Trustees, many of which are in this room here today. I really want to thank you folks for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. Before coming to Nacogdoches, Gabriel was with the Grand Prairie ISD. He was there since 2013. Before that, he served 12 years as an elementary and secondary campus principal in Duncansville ISD. He's got an extraordinary background in public education and a very successful career. And Nacogdoches is indeed blessed to have somebody of his caliber come in here and take over this incredibly important school system. I think that seeing my partner in crime here in Nacogdoches, Larissa Philpott, she'd be the first, I think, to say that economic development depends on great education, and we're fortunate to have an education system here that continues to improve, and I'm absolutely confident that his leadership that we're gonna see continued improvement here in Nacogdoches. Would you folks please welcome with me Dr. Gabriel A. Trujillo. Dr. Trujillo.
Thank you, sir. You're quite welcome.
Good morning. First and foremost, I need to say that I thank the good Lord for everything. I've had a great run, a great direction in the direction I'm going personally, professionally, but I never forget where those blessings come from. And every single day, every day, especially every day since I've been in Nacogdoches, I've lifted that in prayer every single day. I want to start there first because you're going to hear a lot of tremendous things that are going on. But the tremendous things that are going on is not because of one individual or group of individuals. It's collectively. It's a partnership. Mario, I see Mario here right back in the city. I see President Scotland University, the Chamber, NEDCO. I'm going to leave somebody out, but it's a partnership in having conversation. And one of the things I regularly say, every single one of us, even the ones that are there at home in their jammies, probably not, they're wearing ties and shorts or something, but we will never take a hug for granted when we come out of this. We will never take a handshake for granted. We see smiling eyes, so we will never ever recognize smiling eyes like we see them now. We know when a person's smiling, and we're going to see the whole thing when we get out of this at the other end, because it's coming. That light at the end of the tunnel is not another train; it's the end of the tunnel. So I just want to make sure we start there first. I'm going to be going rapid fire real quick because I know my time is short, so I'm going to take you through a journey. But I want to first recognize one thing: this tremendous board that's here, and those that weren't able to be here this morning. I want Nacogdoches to know this. When I sat down and I visited with him, it's almost like this coat. I saw this coat hanging on a hanger, and I loved it. But I didn't know if it was going to fit me, and so I took it off the hanger, I put it on, and I said, "Oh, this feels really good." So when I was looking at Nacogdoches and the opportunities it had, it was on the rack. It was there until I came and I sat down with this amazing team, because it was 7 board members that represented the entire community of Nacogdoches. And I'm going to tell you, they did an amazing job of representing the passion, compassion, and the love for this community. And I saw that, and I wanted to be part of that. And so that's why I'm here, is because the 7 folks that sat in that room were advocating for the community at large. And every time we get a chance to go out there in the community, it's all of us speaking up what's happening in Nacogdoches so that people can pay attention to the wonderful things that we're doing here. So I wanted to first do that, make sure to recognize my team that's here. We call ourselves a team of one, right, Ms. Montoya? Team of one. So we're, that's it. So this is my family right here. I apologize for those that are joining us, but then this is who I'm about. This is what I'm about. Everything that's in there and then more is really what makes my world complete. And I'm telling you, true balance there makes each and every one of us an amazing individual for whatever we're doing at work. This is my professional side of it. And if you notice, I love being with people. I love interacting. And that went out because COVID-19 came in. So I had to punt and come up with other ways to be able to work with and get to know individuals. I did have an entry plan, like any superintendent, as they come in, and that went to the side whenever we start off. So the first thing that happened was we wound up putting this up and started seeing these signs come up around town. Stay safe, we miss you. The kids were gone from school. And then playgrounds went quiet. We didn't have the noise. I tell you, schools are brick and mortar only. I walk these buildings during the summertime, and they're a lonely, sad place. And it doesn't matter the hundreds and thousands of dollars that we spend, it's a sad place because we don't have the heart and soul. We don't have the kids. We don't have the teachers. We don't have the breath that happens there. And here I found myself in a classroom. And I went into and I started putting video out to our staff. And in this classroom, there was a sonic drink that sat there. It's almost like they beamed everybody up and they were gone. And that sonic drink was still there, so I did empty it out, throw it out. But that's just to speak to how quickly this happened. And people weren't able to come back to school. And I found my way to go to these classrooms and make messages to our teachers, let them know, we love you, we miss you, we can't wait to get you back with us. If you can see the hesitance with the lady in the red, I pulled up and she's kind of leaning away. This is where we first found out about COVID. We don't know if we need to be trusting the distance. And by the way, who is this man coming up to me to take a picture of us? But this is what we look like as we were going into the summertime. And then we got partnerships. We started off with a partnership with the Daily Signal to get creative, innovative. This is the best innovation that we can come up with at the time, was to borrow and use their newspaper stands to be able to get the work out to the families so they can come in, because we wanted the less interaction we had between the adults. That's what we were actually going through during that phase. And then we had the unsung heroes. This is our frontline folks. These are the cafeteria workers. We continued with this group. This group went forward and made sure that we gave our population of kiddos the most important thing is the meal. The meal they get every single day. And some of our families, that's the only place that they're getting it, breakfast and lunch. So we were packing big packs and sending them home, and they were able to feed them for dinner and for over the weekend. So a great big hand goes to this team of folks across the district for the tremendous job that they've done. And then we started talking to the high school because, oh, wow, Trujillo, you get to do something very, very amazing, which is let's talk about graduation and how we're going to do graduation. Boy, that turned out to be a fun conversation. And I worked with my team of 8 getting right into the process. So we came up with a system that would meet not only the interest of our kids, but the interest of our community. And people around were starting to have the ceremonies in the stadiums and doing all kinds, but we wanted to think about what was the after effect. How are we going to keep our community safe? And what was exciting for me is to stand up there and look down at that first row and see family members that would not have otherwise been able to come to graduation, come and sit down and enjoy. And when you look at somebody sitting there that's coming up with a wheelchair or their grandparents, and they remove their mask and they look at the high school principal, myself, and they say thank you. And they walk away and leave the next time it comes in. We did that for 6 days, from 7:30 until 5 o'clock at night for 6 days. I heard common circumstance for a whole lifetime, that whole week. But it was worth every bit of it because it was the first time for that senior to come here. And I made myself, because you have to. Sometimes we have to make ourselves. Put yourselves in a place of joy, in a place that matters, because if we don't do that, then people can see it. So for every senior that walked up there, they were able to see that we were celebrating their accomplishments. And so it was exciting to go through this particular, I struggled. I wanted to put up my hand and congratulate, shake her hand, but we didn't do that. And then we also recognized this. This is 297 years of experience. And the majority of those folks that retired, they retired from Nacogdoches, and they did their entire career here. That's a lot of years of education, but these folks here went silently from a year of commitment in education into their next career, which is retirement. And but we didn't do anything other than recognize them through the social media and the things that were out there. So a lot of things went unrecognized as we were going through for the accomplishments that we had. There were some sacrifices that we had. It wasn't just our seniors, it was also our staff members that had to go through that process. And then what I call the Brady Bunch syndrome started. And this goes to the folks that are out there as well. They're watching this Brady Bunch. The last time I saw squares was whenever I was watching the Brady Bunch. And then all of a sudden, we started doing this. We started meeting through Zooms and scheduling times to visit with each other. And it was funny just listening to each other, have the conversations to catch up with each other. It was very innovative in the way we were working through that. And then we moved into the phase of we've got to prepare our teachers because the school is coming. They will be returning. So what do we need to do with the infinite wisdom with the board and myself and our teams to start looking at what do we need, what tools do our teachers need to have in order to be able to be prepared. Look at devices. And I'm telling you, you can't see her, so I'm going to zoom in. And you see the smiling eyes? The teacher, she is so excited because she's got a device that now gives her the ability to be portable, to be able to leave her classroom if something occurs, to be able to work from home if she needs to and meet the needs of our kids. This is another group of teachers, something exciting. I sent this photo to my board and I said, listen, this makes my heart warm up because this is a group of teachers coming together with their tools to plan and prepare the best instruction that we can. I heard the superintendent say that our number one role in the job at the end of the year is to make sure that we had a successful, safe school year. I say that is the tool. That's not my job. That's not our job. Our job is to educate, get the kids home, and every single day they leave better than they came the day before. But we've got to return them home safely. And that doesn't mean that we're going to concentrate only on PPEs, personal protective equipment. We also got to look at how we equip our teachers to be able to meet the needs of our kids emotionally as well. Because our kids in a whole dynamic, our social workers, our counselors need tools and prepare in order to meet the needs of our kids to change a little bit. So here's something that we start thinking about our kids as well. 1,600 iPads arrived. This was a tremendous feat. I'm telling you, 6 months ago, teachers didn't have devices. We didn't have an LMS, which is a learning management system, and then our students didn't have devices. But we had to do something in the meantime. So duct tape baling wire. And I learned this from my time with Plainview, because sometimes you got to just do something a little bit different until you can get the tools. So we had the technology. We just had to collect all of it, shuffle it around, put it right back out, however old the equipment is, until we get the good stuff. And now the good stuff is arriving, and we're getting it out to our kids, and we're pulling and rotating those items out. So these are the iPads that have arrived, and they're programming them, they're processing them, getting them ready. And then you'll see Tarvin's wearing one back there in the back. That's this. You have PPE, a shield. There are shields coming out, but we want to find the best shield, the innovative shields that meet the needs of teachers. And there's times that some that come up to the top of the head and come down, but our work is here with kids. So we went out and found a shield that allows us to really able to lift it up and be interactive with the kids and be able to do that. But we also have to use our masks as we're doing it. So the teachers be able to use whatever they can, whatever mode, whatever fits their instructional need for their kids. Whether it's a shield, whether it's in the shop, or if it's going to be using the mask that we provided to one of our kids. Because this is exciting. And by the way, I've got her picture up. I didn't ask for her permission. But anyway, here she is. And then we have these items arrive. These are the table shields that we have. And this is an added protection, so you'll see it. And when you visit a classroom, the blue is just the seal that has it. So you can see me, I'm kind of looking through the shield, but this is actually what we're working with, where a kid can be able to work in their area. It's an added protection tool that we have for our students as they're working through in their environments. We also have in the cafeteria, because in the cafeteria, as kids are coming in, that's the one area where everybody removes their masks. And you'll see them being used there creatively with our families. What I'm telling you is we're not promising a bubble. We don't promise a bubble. What we're doing is saying we're going to do everything we can to keep you safe and provide you with the tools. And what I want all of us to do is be advocates for NISD to say, come back to school, come back to the Head Start program that we have. Because he and I both are looking at, we have families that are still feeling unsecure with what we're doing. And I want us to be able to be advocates to say, NISD is doing amazing things. And we want our kids to come back and be able to trust that we're going to do everything we can, not only for the adults, but for our kids. And then this is one of the classrooms that you're looking at that's here. It looks a little interesting, but so does everything else we do now. We're learning how we're going through this process. These are some foggers. We fog our buses so that when kids are coming through, we can actually disinfect the buses. So questions may rise about transportation. Well, there's the foggers. We have to go through buses and we'll do that. Buses, if you're seeing them, they're driving around with what you and I probably used to, windows down, air conditioner shut off to circulate the air. And so you'll see that with our transportation as you're driving around. Teachers got a packet, has a little thermometer there, or thermostat to take the temperature. They've got the hand sanitizer and the little mask that they have is one of the care packets that we've given them. The buses at the entrance, you'll see that they've got a little sanitizer, so kids are sanitizing coming in. So we're taking every precaution. Remember, we're not saying we're in a bubble. What we're saying is we're going to do everything we can to help build the confidence. This is our white fleet. White fleet, we're also transporting kids. So you'll see there's a piece of plexiglass right there behind the driver, so that when the student's there, we keep the driver safe and also the student safe as we're transporting. This is a neat idea. This is also in partnership. We don't always come from maternal. We did a little field trip over to our Head Start here in town. And I was telling him how excited we were about this. We went over and saw what he's doing with his littles. And we were able to bring this tool, which would be able to expedite kids coming into school and processing. And all you do is come in there in a matter of seconds. You stand in front of it, take your temperature, and then you move forward. That's exciting information that we're learning from each other. And that's what this is about, is having collaboration, conversations, whether with the city or with the university or even with our Head Start. It's that collaboration that's going to help us. Parent here coming in and get devices that we have. We have this, it's on the news. If you happen to see it this morning, it'll be on this afternoon again. And then we want to thank you very much if you're one of these businesses that are driving connected with us. That means a student can come in and not have to go to a school. They can come by anyone in our restaurants or even the city buildings. Mario, I want to thank you for the list that you've given us, and we're able to do some things there. So parents can come out and sit in their parking lot or go into that business and be able to connect. Upload, download, go back home. Because some of our families, we can deal with the devices, but they have no way to connect. And so what we're wanting to do is how we establish that. We also have some faith-based organizations out there, some of our churches. So if you're part of a church and you know that they have some Wi-Fi, please reach out to Les or one of us. We'll be able to do something there and do that. And that's either a sign or a sticker that goes to the window that we're putting there. And then we brought our teachers back. Now we're ready for school. We're training. We've been creative. We took some of our staff down to, I took our staff over to SFA. We're using every facility to get us the social distances that are there. The Fredonia, an amazing place for us to do this. And we appreciate it because it allows us to come in and come back to the normal things that we did with some social distancing that we have. And then the bottom fell out. I lost my high school principal. But it was okay. Because we can do anything, we just keep moving forward. And so what I did is in this picture, I pulled the staff in. I said, okay, staff, let's sit down. You and I in a room by ourselves. And I sat there the entire day on their schedule. What do you want in your high school principal when we're looking for your next high school principal? And what they said is we want to stop being stepping stone. I went in the next group. These are kids. I visited with the students to student leadership. They came in and they visited with us. And they talked about what is it that we need in a high school principal. And some of these seniors are going to be having their third high school principal this year as we hire this person. And you know what I heard from the kids? We want to stop being a stepping stone. Then I had a parent meeting, and the parents came, and we had a wonderful conversation. It was in an evening. And I brought in some parents, and we talked about all the things that they're looking for in a leader and what they're wanting as a high school principal. You know what they wanted, right? They didn't want a stepping stone. So what's loud and clear, and I'm going to be in part of this because what this person needs to do is amazing things and be invested in the community, be able to look at the amazing things that our high school is doing. Then we started school. And by the way, the message here says first time to charm. And what we did in conversation with my board is we were looking at, and it was very interesting because we were looking at, there were reasons why we were doing it. It wasn't because we weren't planning well. It's because we wanted to make sure that the teachers had everything, the students had everything. And we were getting information. It was very hot off the press, coming in next week. And we were on a prayer. I was on a prayer. Please, Lord, make sure those computers come. Well, he sent a hurricane instead. Okay, so that's okay. We just wait and figure out and see because it's 2020. You can expect anything. And so all of our devices got held back, and we're sitting there. I kept talking to Pam. Said, Pam, it's coming. We're hoping it's going to be here. And lo and behold, they got it. And so prayer does work. Prayer does work. I want to make sure everybody knows that's out there. Then the classrooms were ready. They got the devices up. They got the PPE up. Teachers had their screens. Students had their screens. And we're ready to run and we start school. And then we had to do some fine tuning. Why? Because our football team got themselves a little bit under the weather. And so we adjusted. And what we do is continue to ensure everybody we're not promising a bubble. We're going to expect that something's going to happen. We're going to be prepared to meet the needs so that confidence is not lost in what we're doing and meeting the needs and what our parents want from us every single day. But I also want to give you all a little bit of an update. This one, I had to put something on. Construction. Because in light of everything that's been going on, construction hasn't stopped. And I'm going to just drive by one of the areas, and it's exciting to see because that communicates hope. It communicates that we're moving forward. It's progress. It's not just COVID. They see red arm going up and all of that. Here's the dirt that's moving over at the high school. By the way, we got a lot of calls over the city. What was that big pile of dirt? It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What's going on there? And so they start doing things at nighttime, pouring the concrete, taking advantage of all the pieces. Start putting the red arm. You'll see it now. It's up there and hanging it up. So that is our new CTE location that's coming up, and it's going to be online sooner than later. By the way, COVID-19 hasn't really impacted a lot of things that we're looking at with construction. That's why it's continuing to progress as we're moving forward. Carpenter, you take a drive around the loop, you can see the same thing. Concrete has been poured. They've got that set up. They've got the red arm build going up with the building. It's looking really amazing. The parking lot is coming around to really streamline the traffic as we're going through that particular building. Is amazing, and it's exciting. It's completed. It's dried up, ready to go. And then you got McMichael right across the street. And this is exciting when you look at it because that's what it looked like when I first got here. And then as we're going forward, all the pieces, all the walls, all the plumbing is coming through. And then I went in and I saw this teacher. This teacher was so excited because her room was finished. And she had like 5 or 6 other teachers with her, but they all jumped out of the picture because they said, oh, we want to be in the picture. We want you to celebrate her. And this is one of our teachers that's excited because her space was completed. And it could not have happened if we didn't stay the course with the construction that we're looking at. And that face right there is what we were able to see over at transportation. Transportation is completed. Matter of fact, we drive by there now, and it's amazing to see that facility at the top of the hill because I wasn't here, but this is what it looked like from what I'm understanding. And you probably took a chance if you took a vehicle to drive up there because there's so many different levels of potholes, I guess, from what I'm hearing. And but now you'll see it. That's the phases. I'm showing everything from the past because it's all completed. It's done. It's ready to rock and roll. We've got the fuel station that's there helping us so we don't have to rent or lease, and we have everything. We own it in-house to wash the vehicles. The inside bays, you can actually park 6 buses, rear end to rear end, from one end to the other, and shut the doors and keep them out of the element and be able to do what we need to do to meet the safety of those buses. The parking bays were completed. Now you'll see up there on the left, we've got lines for antifreeze, oil, water, all the different things. They're able to quickly load and fill and be able to get the buses going. The front right side there is the offices for the training. And then this is our power buses that we send out to the community when we go out. And I asked them, you built it for 3 and we only have 2. So there was a plan that they were going to introduce me to that we were having an idea for one more bus that they're going to get us here. So this is also the former Burke building. Took a little walk through there, some exciting space. This is taking some space that's existing and rejuvenating that little area that's there. It's amazing the work that's going. That is hopefully will be in that building by January, mid-year. Anywhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas break is where we're planning to be in that building. So I know that was fast and furious, but I wanted to give you the last 6.5 months in the short time that we had with you. Once again, we are not promising a bubble, but what we are promising is we're going to do everything we can to meet the needs of our kids, and protect also the greatest resource we have, which is our teachers, and making sure that they're prepared to meet the needs of our kids. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all. I want to thank my board for everything they've done and their belief not only in myself, but in the vision and direction that we're going as a district. It's exciting, and I love the way my coat fits. Thank you. Oh, by the way, just so you'll have some numbers, we have 5 active cases right now with COVID in the district, 7 total, and we've had 26 since 6/16. So it kind of gives you some numbers that we're looking at. So you might hear the bad news and, oh, the sky's falling. The PPE is working. Kids, we're looking at 7 active cases right now. Unfortunately, some of those active cases we have to watch some other groups of kids. That's why you're seeing we have no football team right now. Because we have to look at other groups of kids so we don't have any additional contagions. And then we have 15 kids since the beginning of the school year. Isn't that awesome? So I thank the good Lord for and continue to ask for his blessings, not just for the district, but for each and every one of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Let me lower that. I'm not quite as tall as he is. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about what's ahead for NISD. I really appreciate your energy, and I can see it's all heartfelt. And the fact that you go to God first, you got my vote. I'm really excited about where NISD is headed. I do want to share one little tidbit of information with you guys. The Chamber of Commerce banquet is normally this time of year, but we moved it back a little bit. And at the banquet and annual meeting, we normally announce and recognize our Citizen of the Year, Small, Medium, and Large Business of the Year. And this year, I'm happy to say our Citizen of the Year is Alton Fraley. Everyone was just so impressed with the work that he did when he was here, when he came back home to Nacogdoches and was able to lead ISD along with NEDCO and the chamber and different business leaders here and get that bond passed and be able to do the construction that you were just talking about. So I have to tell you that when we called him, he actually was driving. He had to pull over while he was driving for the conversation. And he teared up. It meant that much to him. I mean, so his time here was not just another job. It was something that he felt in his heart and wanted to do for his home community. So we're thrilled to be honoring him in that for the Citizen of the Year. So, and again, I want to thank you guys for my year as Wayne mentioned. He had said something the other day and he started tearing up. And he is determined I'm going to ugly cry in front of a lot of people. He just keeps doing that, but I truly appreciate it. He's a wonderful person to work with and all the staff. So moving on, we're going to go to our cash drawings for today. Barbara's got, we have $50 from Commercial Bank. I don't see
Nobody is coming.
no one's here from Commercial Bank. So
But
this
I
will
still
be,
have their $50.
we have the $50. So this will be drawn from where you dropped your cards in when you came in. So
Who's our winner, Claire?
oh. Maria Martinez.
Yay, Maria! We'll get your picture in a minute.
All right, and this next one is for $250, and that's from Actually
That's you, right? And you, yes,
And it has to be the exact business name and the person that's there for representative for that business. Let me dig down.
dig down in
And
there.
they have to be here.
They have to be in the building.
Okay. Timber Pro Forest Service, Chris Coley. So sorry. We'll try again next time. But I'm so glad you guys were able to come out today. As Wayne mentioned, we're going to have another exit issues in a couple of weeks, and it'll be our city manager. So at this point, I'm going to say goodbye, and you guys have a great Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
I'm going to have you do the picture. Oh, okay. If you don't mind.
This conference will now be recorded.